did. It's the 441 Marches, peace, love, and all that goodness. Just doing a little bit of drawing. Came out, got some grounding time in. By the water, whatever. Seeing how y'all living. What we talking about today, man? There's a lot going on in the ethers. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot of judgment going on. A lot of the messages that I've received personally, they talk about endings and looking at judgment. There's a lot of judgment going on in the world, so judgment is on its way to a lot of people. And sometimes judgment may not be quite what some of us want because we ain't been doing right. But a lot of us that have been in this spiritual war, since a youngin', and not even really knowing that we was in this war. For an example, I was at my mother's house. She was like, "Well, you remember you used to get sent to the office because you ain't want to say the Pledge of Allegiance?" So for an example, I used to get sent to the office for not saying the Pledge of Allegiance. Me as a young 10-year-old, I knew something wasn't right about that Pledge of Allegiance. And I would stand 10 toes on that. Pun intended, because I wouldn't stand for that shit. That's no cap, though. So I've been grooming for myself for this. I've been raised for this spiritual war. And we're coming to a culmination of the ending. Rod Hayes is one of the most amazing chiefs we got since Dr. Malachi Z. York. And I'm not comparing him to his greatness, but I'm saying this is one of the best that we've had in a while to put things together. So type in Rod. See, this shit crazy. I bought this little TikTok shop. So the spiritual war, like I was saying, I tried to make this video and my phone keeps falling due to cheap TikTok device that I bought. The Matrix will rig your system. Buying bullshit. You know what I mean? So being prepared for this spiritual fight, you can't quit. And a lot of times after the first or second time you get interrupted, you don't want to make the video no more. But this is a regular occurrence. Ask anyone that is spiritually evolved and tries to put real information on the internet. They'll tell you how fucking hard it is. They're going to block your stuff. They're going to ban you. They're going to cancel your account. They're going to automatically, your video just disappears. They're going to shadow ban. It's going to be a million different things. This video will be, blocked because of the keywords that they pick up on. The AI pick up on it, and it shuffles the algorithm. So you're going to see murder, death, kill, homicide, and booty, ass, shaking, and titties before you see anything that makes sense. You feel what I'm saying? So that's the spiritual war that we're dealing with. You got to recognize it. Sometimes you may find yourself in the midst of the bullshit and participating, but you got to pull yourself back. You know what I mean? You remember how the Matrix, Neo could go, or Morpheus was teaching Neo how to go in and out of the Matrix safely. And some of the guys, I think his guy name was Kratos, or what was the dude name that wanted to go in the Matrix and eat bullshit, the one that came from Zion. But anyway, that's where we at in the spiritual fight. And people like Rod Hayes is an amazing chief that is opening up the floodgates of information. He's gathering the Akashic records. He's able to acquiesce the speech that allows us all to understand exactly what he's saying. Now, a few of us won't get it. A lot of us won't get it. It's going to take, like he was saying, some type of mass awakening event. You know what I mean? It's going to be a anarchy, like Busta Rhymes, extinction level event. That's what's going to happen. But we never understood that the extinction was going to be for the others, the ones that are not kin to this earth and they are not from this earth. Their birthrights are secondary. So we all know who that is. And if you think you don't know, listen to Rod Hayes. He'll give you a good understanding as to what's real and what's fake. But he's very, very, very key with the awakening and putting the dots together for each of the chiefs, from Christianity to Muslim to the Torah to Judaism, all of these different rites, Egypt, the Anunnakian stories, all of these different stories that we take, and they're all personalized information. But when you're really looking at it, including ourselves, we're all just energy signatures, and a specific energy signature never dies. We just evolve and reincarnate. So whatever energy signature you are now, your rising sign, your sun sign, your moon sign, that's what you was before and before and before and before. You know what I mean? You just have a different level of where you're at in the journey. So your incarnations may build, just like playing Super Mario. You may sit up in there and play all night and lose a bunch of lives, but you come right back, start the game over, this is old school. You blow the cartridge out, put the cartridge back in. I talk about Mario because it's one of the hero's journey games. And all games will key into a specific intel that will show you what to do in real life. Chess, checkers, again, Donkey Kong, any game, man, I'm telling you, try it with any game. There's going to be a game of life within it. That's how you make a game, because there's going to be an opposition that's going to stop you. So just recognizing the fatalities that's been happening is very important. You know what I mean? We need to pay attention to our signs and symbolism, y'all. I'm sorry, I'm trying to draw and talk. But we need to pay attention to our signs and symbolism so that we can really value what we're being given, because sometimes we may value things that are the exact opposite of what we may need or want. You know what I mean? We just don't really understand that that's not going to get us anywhere, and we're going to show back up on this earth trying to get it right. Reincarnation isn't fun. Sounds cool. Oh yeah, I'm gonna reincarnate. You know what I mean? People reincarnate. This is an example of reincarnation. You have Prince coming back from the dead right now as this Diddy trial is happening. I don't have all the juicy details. I don't really try not to get into that lane. I just listen from afar, but I'm gonna have to see what Prince was talking about, because they said Prince was giving up some information on some type of sealed document or old footage or old tape that he left for his uncle's brother. I don't know. We need to figure that out. But Prince is coming back from the dead to resurrect his soul. His soul was left for dead. Allegedly, his soul was left for dead in Hollywood, because, you know, some things happened, and then he's back dealing with the same Hollywood agenda, the people that are holding up the agenda, trying to take them down. So to me, I find it very, very important to pay attention to these signs and symbolisms, because they will show us what's going to happen next and how to tell the fake from the real. You know what I mean? We're able to do that nowadays because there's so many viewpoints and angles. They can't trick you with the same old foolish game. You know what I mean? So the spiritual war is getting a lot easier. We're getting towards the end of the game, y'all. We've been doing pretty good. Any one of us that's been involved in this. Because in order to fight the spiritual war, you just have to hold space. So you basically have to just hold space and wait. There's nothing else you can do. King Boomy, Avatar TV show, he talks about just do nothing. You know what I mean? No, we got to fight. That's what Aang was saying. But no, do nothing. When you don't have a good move, don't do nothing. And just wait. And we say do nothing in context. So don't just do nothing, but do nothing. You know what I mean? Enjoy the journey. The journey is very, very important, because that's where you really get your stripes at. That's where you get your stripes, man. And you really find out who you really are. It's like, man, who am I for real? So you get to reset the checkerboard right here. And this is a good reset, because a lot of the ones that had to play the backfield, a lot of the ones that had to sit it out and just wait, we're about to be up. We're about to be up, and it's about to be our turn to make some things shake and make some things happen. You know what I mean? So that's just my little TED talk for today, man. You know, I got to get it in when I get a chance to, man. But spiritual warfare, we on. So rest in peace, Take Off, because he got some resurrection to do.